guys, welcome to today's video. And today we're reacting to his story. Alright? So I am subscribed to this dude because this dude I watch like every day. Alright. I'm gonna go to his second most oldest video.
The popular girls ranked every guy in our grade by attractiveness, so I ranked them by weight. Someone texted me, "Sorry bro," with a link. Every guy in our grade ranked by attractiveness and height. I was a 5. The comment next to my name said, "Average face, below average height, would not recommend." Other comments were worse. "Would be cute if he wasn't built like a middle schooler." The whole thing was anonymous, but everyone knew who made it. Tiffany and her crew. You couldn't miss Tiffany. Built like Jabba the Hutt stuffed into a Brandy Melville top. But she ran the school so nobody said anything. By the next Monday, 3 guys had deleted their socials. One kid, Darnell, stopped coming to school entirely. I saw his mom picking up his homework from the front office. She looked like she'd been crying. The girls thought it was hilarious. I heard Tiffany in the hallway saying, "It's just a joke. Guys are so sensitive." I tried to do it the right way first. Went to the school counselor and showed her the list. She said she'd look into it and did absolutely nothing. A week later, the list was still up with more comments being added. Someone ranked Darnell a 1.5 and wrote, "Generous." He still wasn't back at school. I caught Tiffany at her locker between classes. "The list is hurting people. Darnell hasn't been to school in 2 weeks. You need to take it down." She looked at me with this fake pity face. "Aw, are you upset about your little 5? Don't worry, I'm sure someone will settle for you eventually." Her friends howled. I didn't react. "So you'd be okay if someone did the same thing to you?" She laughed. "No one would dare." I nodded. "You're probably right." That night I sat in my room thinking about what would actually get through to her. Words didn't work. Authority didn't work. The only thing Tiffany would understand is feeling exactly what she made everyone else feel. So I opened a Google Doc and started typing. Got the weights from Instagram posts, beach photos, anything public. Estimated where I had to. Spent 3 days on it. Made sure it was brutal. Made sure Tiffany was right at the top. Friday lunch, I dropped the list at exactly noon. Within 10 minutes, it spread to every corner of the cafeteria. Girls were crying, screaming. One girl threw her phone across the room, but I kept my eyes on Tiffany. She was holding court as usual when someone handed her their phone. She squinted at the screen, scrolled. Her smile disappeared. Scrolled more. Her face went red, then purple. She was number 1, 187 pounds. Comment, not even Ozempic could save this one. She stood up so fast her chair fell over. Her eyes scanned the cafeteria until they found me. I waved. She marched over with her whole crew behind her. "You think this is funny? This is disgusting. This is body shaming. I'm reporting you." I stayed calm. "Body shaming? That's crazy. It's just a joke." "This isn't a joke. This is harassment." "Is it? Because when I told you to take your list down, you said it was just a joke. You said guys need to stop being so sensitive." The cafeteria went dead silent. "The difference is you ranked guys by height and attractiveness, things they were born with, things they can never change. I ranked by weight, something anyone can change if they wanted to." For the first time, she had nothing to say. Her friends backed away. We both got detention. Someone finally dared. The popular girls ranked every guy.
Dude, she is so fat, bro. I gotta check more videos out. Darn. I gotta move my camera here for a second. I'm gonna react to one of these and then I'll play a video for y'all.
I was walking on the beach when I saw an elderly couple screaming and pointing at the ocean. I followed their hands and spotted a little boy, maybe 6, caught in the current, his arms slapping at the water as it dragged him out to sea. "Lucas, he's drowning! Someone help him!" they cried. But the old man had only made it knee-deep before his wife pulled him back, both far too frail to reach him. There were no lifeguards, no one else but us. They screamed at me, "Can you save him? Please, he's all we have!" My heart pounded because I hadn't touched the ocean since I nearly drowned in it as a kid, but I couldn't stand there and watch Lucas die, so I ran into the waves. The water was freezing, and my whole body started shivering. The current yanked me under before I even reached him, but I fought my way back up, kicking with everything I had. My chest burned, and panic clawed at me as the harder I swam, the farther out I drifted. "Help! Help!" Lucas screamed, gasping as the waves swallowed him, so I clawed toward him and grabbed his arm, but the second I held him up, I couldn't even keep myself afloat, and had no idea how I'd get him back to shore. I spotted the boats and screamed, thrashing and splashing, "Help us! We're drowning!" But they were too far and never moved. My stomach dropped. No one was coming. Then Lucas went limp in my arms, slipping under, so I shoved him above my head with everything left in me, refusing to let go, even as the water poured into my mouth and I couldn't breathe. Just as my vision went black, Lucas's weight suddenly vanished detached from my arms. Before I could understand what happened, a hand clamped around mine and yanked me up, breaking the surface. I gasped and coughed as someone hauled me onto a boat. If you hadn't held that boy up over the water, we never would have spotted you all the way out here, one of them said. But beside me, Lucas lay limp, and I begged him to wake up, scared it was too late. The second we reached the sand, he coughed and spit out a mouthful of water. His grandparents crashed onto their knees and wrapped him in their arms, sobbing. Then the grandma grabbed my hand. If you hadn't gone in, we would have lost him. You're a hero. But I looked out at the water that almost killed me and decided I'm never going to a beach again. I was walking on the beach when
That is really smart. Let's go head to the video. This.
With Walmart Summer Style, you can always treat yourself.
No expose. You're new. If anyone asks, we're on vacation. Did we tilt?
I felt like the luckiest guy on the planet at my senior prom because the love of my life, Chrissy, had her arms around me and we were slow dancing to our favorite song. In my mind, the rest of the students melted away. I love you. She smiled at me, then touched the side of my face. Good, because I love you too. We shared the most magical kiss of my life. Then I felt her body tense up. What's wrong? She was looking over my shoulder at someone across the room. I turned and saw a wild-eyed biker-looking guy watching her. He had a tattoo under his eye and a few scars down his neck. He couldn't see me, but I could see him. Nothing. It's not nothing. Who is that? It's just some jerk that I met a few days ago. Don't worry about it. All that matters is us. Right now. Right here. We kissed again, and I quickly forgot about anything else. I looked up at the sparkling strobe light above us. I was in heaven. The next night, we were supposed to meet up at my place when she didn't show up. I called and texted her, but she didn't respond. I went over to her house, snuck into her window like I always did since we were 6 years old and saw her laying in bed. Chrissy, she didn't respond. Hey babe, you alright? I tried to shake her and she still didn't move. My heart sank and I felt a terrible chill travel up my spine. Chrissy, please, wake up, please. I rolled her over towards me and saw her eyes were wide open and she wasn't breathing. Oh no, Chrissy, wake up. I felt for a pulse and my worst fears came true when I didn't find one. Tears flooded my eyes and I called 911, but it was too late. 3 days later, I was standing at her funeral. Her mother sat trembling in the front row. I didn't cry because the authorities said that she overdosed on fentanyl. Chrissy hadn't even smoked a cigarette or even tried one puff. She hadn't even tried a glass of champagne. She had watched her uncle pass away from drugs and alcohol and swore she would never touch anything. I was fixated at what actually happened and who was responsible, and I knew it had something to do with one of the Iron Vultures. They're a notorious biker gang and actually had the nerve to show up to her funeral. When I looked across Chrissy's grave at their leader, Deacon Kovacs, my fists clenched and my guts churned because I know he's hiding something. He was the same guy at our prom, and either him or someone from their gang did this to the girl I've loved ever since I was 3 years old. My father, Frank, put his arm on my shoulder, doing his best to comfort me. He had been a cop for over 20 years and also knew when something didn't sit right. On the way home after the funeral, I turned to my father. You know as well as I do that someone from the Iron Vultures is responsible. His eyes darted at me, nervous. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I nodded. You've been saying you wanted someone on the inside to expose their corruption. Well, what's better than a teenage kid that seems like he needs a family to be a part of? My father took in a long, deep breath. Please don't do it, son. I'm begging you. You're just a kid, and it's gonna be the most violent, disturbing thing you'll ever do. These people are savages, pure animals that will stop at nothing to destroy anyone that's in their way. I get it, Dad, but I can't let the memory of Chrissy down and let them get away with it. She deserves some form of justice. He understood. All right, well, I know that even if I forbid you from doing it, you'd do it anyway, wouldn't you? There is nothing that will stop me, Dad. That's what I thought you'd say. Well, listen up. You need to know that there are some lines you will have to cross that you can't ever come back from, and those choices you'll make will haunt you for the rest of your life. I felt the weight of that land hard on me and nodded. I understood. Dad swallowed some pills that always calmed him down. I learned how to ride a Harley and researched everything I needed to know about biker gangs. Dad got me police files on the Iron Vultures, and I studied them thoroughly. 5 months later, I had successfully worked my way into riding at the back of the Iron Vultures motorcycle line, wearing a leather cut that read, Prospect. The Iron Vultures were known for running guns and drugs from here in Detroit all the way down to Florida. We pulled over at a gas station, and I watched all the local cars fearfully scatter as we took over all the gas pumps. President Deacon waved me over. I want you to go inside and tell the cashier that we'll be filling up all our bikes and we won't be paying a penny. And if he's got a problem with that, teach him a
a lesson. Can you handle that, Prospect? My gut turned to stone, and my palms started sweating. I didn't have a choice but to agree. This was another test. Not a problem. I entered the gas station and approached the cashier. He was an old man and reminded me of my grandfather. There was an old picture of him in military fatigues. Hey, so, we're gonna take as much gas as we need to, and we won't be paying for it. Got it? He gritted his teeth. And if I say no, what happens then? I felt awful putting him in this situation. Look, man, I'm just following orders. You don't want to give us any trouble. And what if I do? I'm too old to be scared of you corrupt bastards. I don't care what you do to me. He reached under the counter for something. Don't do that. I leaped over and saw that he was holding a shotgun and grabbed it away from him. Let go, old man. I ripped the shotgun out of his hands and he fell to the floor and clutched his chest. I was momentarily horrified and thought, what if I'm responsible for this man having a heart attack? I kneeled down to him. Are you all right? You don't care about anyone other than yourself. I hate everything your kind stands for. I felt so terrible because I wanted to tell this poor old guy the truth. I was doing this to bring these assholes down, and I agree with him. They make me sick as well. I'm sorry you feel that way. I helped him up, waited until the last biker filled up his tank, took one last sad look at him, and left. When I got back on my bike, Deacon watched me closely. I tried to look tough, but I think he saw through it. My dad said to be as honest as I could and use my real name with these guys. These maniacs were experts at smelling out a rat, so I didn't have long to find and gather real evidence that would bring this whole biker gang to their knees and make them pay for what they did to Chrissy. We made it back to the clubhouse, which was a converted slaughterhouse with a chapel that had a long oak table and a bar in the back. I slept in an attic room above the chapel. There was a cot, a chest of drawers, no windows, but a loose floorboard where I kept a small notebook of every transaction I had witnessed.
Wow.
I also kept a photograph of Chrissy on the beach the summer she turned 16. I was writing a note when my door swung open. I quickly hid my notebook behind my back and saw Tonga, one of the lieutenants. Yo, Prospect, my girl wants to talk to you. Don't be weird. He walked away, and his girlfriend Grace, who was also Chrissy's best friend, entered in tears. I just need someone to talk to that knew her, and no one knew her better than you. Yeah, of course. I can't get over it. I wake up crying from nightmares every night, and it's the same one. I see Chrissy's face, and she says the same thing every time. What does she say? Nothing is as it seems. Do you know what she means by that? I felt my stomach tighten and tense up because I had to be very careful with what I said next. She had been connected to the Iron Vultures for years and would immediately go and tell Deacon if she even suspected anything. You were with her the night she died. Can you tell me about what you two did? Yeah, we were partying downstairs by the pool table and I was drinking, but she wasn't. You know how she gets. Then she went to the bathroom and was gone for a while, like at least 20 minutes. Then she came back with a really terrified, sad look in her eyes and a black eye. I asked her what had happened and she just shook her head, unable to talk. Did you see anyone go into the bathroom with her? Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. The guys here are crazy. That made my stomach turn. Who went in with her? She hesitated.
Dear 2032,
Well,
can't wait to see you.
while this ad is happening, I don't know.
With our 160-point inspection, the best new cars make the best used cars.
Doesn't mean anything. The guys here are crazy. That made my stomach turn. Who went in with her? She hesitated, looked down at the ground. Deacon. Hearing that was like being stabbed in the heart. He doesn't want anyone in the club to find out what he did, because the rules they supposedly live by don't ever harm a woman or a child. He could be ousted if the other guys found out. Thank you for telling me this, but I don't know if I can do anything about it. She leaned in close and whispered, I just needed to talk to someone, and I don't know why you're here, but I know that it's not because you want to be a vulture. She grinned at me, as if she was totally onto me. I looked away, nervous. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. She walked out. The next morning, the senior members met around the long oak table, and I stood at the back, where a prospect stands. They talked about a missing crystal meth shipment from Detroit, and a drug dealer in Ann Arbor that was a part of it in some way. Plus, a Detroit cop who had been parked down the street from the clubhouse 3 nights in a row. I kept my face still when they mentioned the cop, because I knew exactly which cop it was. My dad. Sweat formed on my forehead, and I gritted my teeth. I told him 3 weeks ago to stop hanging around because eventually he'll get caught. Tonga raised his hand to speak. Let me take care of the cop. Deacon nodded. I knew I had to say something if I was to try and save my dad. Can I be a part of that, sir? A few bikers around the table glared at me for speaking out of turn, and then one of them slapped me across the face. You don't get to speak, Prospect. Besides, isn't our copper on the inside supposed to handle crap like that? Deacon nodded. Yeah, but hold up a second. Why would you want to help take out a copper prospect? I panicked. connect, and had to say something they would believe. I hate those pigs. Every one of them. They used to beat on me as a kid. If I can be a part of ending one, then that's a good day. Deacon burst out laughing. Then the others joined in. Deacon smiled at me. I like you taking some initiative. You'll go along with Tonga. Be discreet, but take care of Marco first. Tonga and I rode our bikes out to Ann Arbor and walked into a warehouse. Marco saw us and flashed a toothless smile. He was taking his own meth. His missing teeth clearly showed us the evidence. Tonga grabbed him by the back of his head and slammed his face into a wooden table. What did you do with the missing meth? I swear I don't know what happened to it. The last time I saw it, it was with the messenger. He's up to something. Tonga pulled out his blade and stuck it next to his right eye. Marco started crying and pissed himself. I was terrified for the guy and felt embarrassed for him. Please don't. I swear I don't know what happened to it. You have 3 seconds to tell me or you go blind. Okay, wait. Just wait. Look under my floorboards. He pointed down at the ground. We opened them up to see a huge crawl space that opened up to a large room. There were huge stashes of missing drugs and cash everywhere. Marco trembled. Tonga, Prospect, I have an incredible offer for you both. That's why I'm willing to show you what's down here. How about I give you both $1 million each to keep this a secret? It's just cash, sitting right there. Go ahead and take it. Just promise me we'll keep this to ourselves. Cool? I must admit, I definitely thought about it. Then the idea of spending my life terrified of being caught brought me back down to reality. Then I grew fearful of what Tonga was about to do to this toothless bastard. Tonga took his time, looked around at years of what this idiot had stolen from the gang, then pulled out his handgun, aimed it at Marco's face. Oh God, no. Please don't. You lying, thieving piece of crap. I'm sorry. I have a problem. I'm an addict. I can't help myself. You're pathetic. Tonga was about to pull the trigger, then glanced at me, flipped his gun around and handed it to me. You do it, Prospect. Let's see what you're made of. I took the gun, aimed it at Marco, and then hesitated. My hand shook, my throat went dry, and I thought, am I really going to cross the line? There's no going back once I do. I looked at Tonga out of the corner of my eye, and he was glaring at me. Then I thought, well, at least he's a scumbag drug dealer. I'm doing the world a favor, and if I don't do it, I'd be dead before sundown. I closed my eyes and pulled the trigger. I heard Marco drop. Then I ran over to the side of the room and lost my breakfast. Tonga laughed at me. I stood up from the trash can and saw Chrissy's face. She was standing across the room and looking at me with a deep sadness in her eyes. I was mesmerized. Was it her ghost or just my mind playing tricks on me? I spoke to myself under my breath. Please don't be upset with me, Chrissy. I'm doing this for you. We rode back to the clubhouse, and Deacon and the other vultures all hugged and patted me on the back as if I'd won a prize. A few hours later, while everyone was out on a ride, I stayed back to clean the toilets, as prospects have to do. I mopped my way into Deacon's office. I was searching for any real evidence that I could show to my dad and the cops and take these assholes down. I checked to see if there were any cameras, then searched through every drawer I could and snapped pictures of every document I found. I had found a goldmine of information, so many records and transactions. Then I saw the door swing open, and Deacon was standing in the doorframe. What the hell do you think you're doing? My heart started furiously pounding. I didn't know what to say and looked so guilty. I discreetly hid my phone behind my back and slipped it into my pocket. He grabbed me by my neck and pinned me hard against the wall. I'm only gonna ask you one more time. What the hell are you doing in my office? He had that vicious gaze in his eyes that I'd seen before he killed people. His hand gripped tighter around my throat and I started to choke and see stars. Answer the question, Prospect. I just wanted to impress you. By doing what? Cleaning your office so it's perfectly spotless. He stared daggers at me. I trembled and started to completely lose consciousness. My fear was vibrant. After what seemed like an eternity, he let go of my neck, and I collapsed to my knees, trying to catch my breath. That's the sweetest, girliest thing anyone's ever said to me. But how did you know? How did I know what? That I'm OCD with cleaning.
3 words. Teen Driver Reports.
It's the best summer ever at Chuck E. Cheese with the $49.99 Ultimate Summer Family.
Cleaning. I let out a huge sigh of relief. It takes one to know one. He nodded. Make it beyond spotless. I want to smell the fresh scent of Pine Sol when I get back. He grabbed his knife off of his desk and left. I closed my eyes in deep relief. Damn, that was close. I immediately emailed my dad and the cops every picture I had just taken, then called my dad and spoke quietly. Listen, you need to leave town immediately. They're on to you. What? They caught you parked outside. I told you what would happen if you did that and you didn't listen. Leave town right now. Okay. Later that night, I laid in my bed and stared up at the attic ceiling. I saw Chrissy's face appear again in front of me, but this time, she had a sympathetic look in her eyes. I could tell she understood everything I was doing, and tears flooded my eyes when I thought of how genuinely sweet and innocent she was, and these cruel assholes ripped her away from me. It made everything I was doing worth it. Then I heard a light knock at my door and opened it for Grace. "Hey, sorry to bother you, but I found something." She pulled out a thumb drive and handed it to me. I had one of Chrissy's...
Guys, I'm back. My dad was just asking me if I wanted breakfast, so I was like,
I
yeah.
popped it into my
I'm gonna
laptop,
just
tried to
watch
open
the
it,
rest
and
of
couldn't.
this.
"Can I hold on to this?" Yeah.
You
She
know.
went to leave, and I stopped her.
Don't
"Why are you
tell me
helping
to
me
go
and not
with
turning
you,
me
I'll go
in?
with
These guys crossed a line with Chrissy. That's
You know.
unacceptable to me."
Yeah,
About an hour
exactly.
later, after I fell asleep, my door got flung open again, and Tonga barged in, ripped me out of bed, and dragged me down the hallway. "What's happening? What did I do?" He glared at me. "You tell me." I was speechless. What did he find out? "I have no idea what you're talking about." He shoved me onto the couch in the main room and started laughing. "You should have seen your face. Deacon wants me to take you with me to that cop's house. We found out where he lives. I wanted to be sick. Deacon wants you to do it, since you said how much you hate cops and all. He's giving you a gift." I was dying inside, but put on a smile. "Let's roll." We rode out to the house where I grew up. I was praying not to get spotted by any neighbors, so I kept my helmet on as we approached the house. Tonga took out his sawed-off shotgun and signaled that I head around to the back of the house. I quickly did, and grew terrified when I thought of Tonga breaking in and hurting my dad. I made it to my old bedroom window, slid it open because I always left it open, and snuck in. I stepped into the hallway and saw a light on in my dad's bedroom. I quickly entered and was shocked when I saw him packing a bag. In a panicked whisper, "I told you to leave. Why are you still here?" I had to wait to pick up a check, and I had to come back for my medication. I'm not alone. He knew what that meant. I heard Tonga's footsteps and quickly gestured for my dad to hide in the closet. He rushed in and hid behind his wardrobe rack. I turned around and saw Tonga enter. I anxiously pretended to be searching the room. "He's not in here." Tonga pointed at my dad's half-packed bag on the bed. "He's still around here somewhere. Did you check the closet?" I stood between him and the closet and casually spoke. "Yeah, he's not in there." Tonga stopped cold. I pointed to the hallway. "Let's go and search the rest of the house." I signaled that he followed me, and he stayed still. "You said you checked the closet?" My breath caught. "Yeah, let's go." "Then why do I smell Old Spice coming from there?" "It's probably his clothes. Come on, he could be trying to leave." Tonga gripped onto my shirt. "How come you seem nervous?" I had to think fast. "Isn't it obvious? We're in a cop's house on an attempted kidnapping. It's my first time." That made Tonga relax a little bit, and he started heading towards the door. Then my heart sank when I looked over at the bedside table and saw a picture of Dad and me from a fishing trip last summer. My spine stiffened as I prayed under my breath. "Please don't see that picture. Please don't see that picture." Then, as Tonga reached the doorway, he stopped cold, turned his head to the left, and stared directly at the picture. I closed my eyes, horrified. I was busted. Tonga stepped closer towards the bedside picture, picked it up, and looked closely at it. He held his sawed-off shotgun by his side, and at that moment, I thought about putting a bullet in his back right then and there, but I didn't have it in me. My hands were shaking as I held my gun by my side. He turned around to face me with rageful eyes. "Explain yourself, Prospect." I raised my gun at him, and his shotgun was still facing down by his side. "Drop your weapon, Tonga." A vicious smirk flashed across his lips. "If you think I'll let some rookie-ass turd outdraw me, you got another thing coming, boy. I don't want to have to use this. Put your gun down, right now." Tonga stayed eerily still, ice water running through his veins. "Is he your daddy? Your uncle? He's in the closet, isn't he?" I said, "Put it down. This is your last chance. I don't want to have to do this. You're some dumbass kid with a cop daddy." I was shaking, feeling overwhelmed with terror and an intense drive for survival. I saw him jolt his shotgun up, and I opened fire. He was such a thick, tough, relentless Samoan that the shot didn't seem to do much. He even smiled. Then he fired his shotgun, and I quickly slipped to the side and put 2 more bullets in his chest. He was still standing. Then he squinted his eyes. "I eat bullets for breakfast, bitch." My terror grew because it seemed like nothing I did could stop this beast of a man. Then he took a step towards me. "Stop."
With Walmart summer style, you can leave quite an impression.
Towards me, stopped, and fell flat on his face. His eyes were wide open in a cold, dead stare. "You probably shouldn't eat those for breakfast, 'cause that stuff will kill you." I have no idea why I just said that out loud. It's not like he could hear me. I let out a huge sigh of relief, then jumped out of my skin when Tonga's body convulsed, and he sat up and grabbed his shotgun. He wasn't dead. Holy crap, what the hell? I immediately fired 3 more shots down into him and ended it. "Jesus, what are you made of?" I caught my breath, then glanced at the closet and saw a shotgun bullet hole through the door. My panic shot through the roof, and I quickly swung open the closet door and saw my dad sitting against the wall, clutching onto his chest. Tonga's gunshot caught him. No, crap. Dad, can you hear me? Are you still with me? Dad? He slowly came to, and his breathing was shallow. I called 911. We got an officer down with a gunshot wound. I need help right now. Help is on the way, sir. The reporters and paramedics were there within minutes and rushed my dad to the hospital. I waited in the hallway near his room. The doctor stepped out and addressed me. You're his son? Yeah. Look, the bullet nicked his heart, and it's a miracle he's still alive. We've slowed down the bleeding, but if I had to guess right now, his chances are not good. If I were you, I would start making final arrangements. I'm really sorry. I felt a wave of intense sadness rush through me and stared down at the cold tiles. 2 police officers were waiting to talk to me, and we went into an empty office. The first officer reached out and offered me a handshake. I was confused by it. I just want to congratulate the kid that gathered that much evidence against the Iron Vultures to bring these suckers down. We got your email, and our lawyers are compiling the case now. We'll probably pick up Deacon in the morning. His cop friend wasn't as friendly. When he heard that, he turned cold, stood up, ripped open his police shirt to reveal a leather Iron Vulture cut. Long live Deacon, and long live the Iron Vultures. I quickly stood up and backed away. My guts burned with fear. His partner didn't see what he was revealing. What are you doing, Officer Reynolds? The officer pulled out his gun, turned to face his partner, and put a bullet into him at close range. I knew that if I didn't act soon, I was a dead man. He aimed his gun at me. Deacon says, he'll see you in hell. I leapt over the desk and slammed my shoulder into the middle of his chest and nailed him into the ground. We fought back and forth for a few seconds. Then I was able to bust through the door and run out of the hospital. He was right on my tail, and I heard him make a call behind me as he was chasing me through the underground parking lot. Deacon, I'm going hunting for a rat, and you and the boys need to join me. I hopped on my bike and peeled out down the street. I drove up the ramp onto the freeway. I rode several miles, hoping I was in the clear, but then heard the loud, thunderous roar of blasting bike engines. I looked in my side mirror and saw Deacon and 20 Iron Vultures revving their Harleys behind me. I hit the gas and took off as fast as my bike would take me. They were just as fast, and unfortunately for me, Deacon's motorcycle is seriously jacked up with rocket blasters, so no matter how fast I went, I wasn't going to outrun him. I sped across the freeway, hoping to reach an industrial area before them. The roaring sound of all 20 Iron Vultures cranking their bikes was deafening. Every other car on the freeway quickly swerved out of the way. They rode up next to me, and I started zigzagging across the lanes, threatening to bash into them if they got too close. You wanna effing play? Let's play, you ugly bastards. I knew that I had to get as crazy as them if I stood a chance. Deacon's Harley sped right up next to me, and he aimed his shotgun. I tilted my handlebars and headed right for him, and he fired a shot at my tires. Boom! He missed by an inch, and sparks flew up from the street. Ah! I almost lost control of my bike, but something miraculous happened. I felt Chrissy's hand on my back, reassuring and straightening out my handlebars. She saved my life and was truly watching out for me. I managed to cut Deacon off and exit into a triangular maze of industrial buildings. I took hard, cutting right turns and quick slicing left turns, but no matter how fast I thought I was, they always caught up to me. I needed to pick a location and barricade myself in. I turned a corner and saw where I needed to go. Ah, crap. No way. It was the same gas station with the same old man behind the counter. I zipped into the parking lot, quickly dismounted my bike, rushed inside, and locked the door. What the hell do you think you're doing? Listen up, old man. I'm not with these assholes. I just spent several months undercover, and I've just exposed them for what they are to the police. I need you to call the cops because we're about to. Boom, boom. 2 gunshots rang out and blew out the glass of the front window. The old man reached below his counter and took out a rifle. Get under the counter. I ducked down. Reach into my duffel bag and pick whatever you like. I quickly called the cops. 911, what's your emergency? Gunshots being fired at the gas station on Rosemont and 7th. We don't have long. I tossed the phone, then saw his duffel bag, unzipped it, and saw a cache of guns and even a couple hand grenades. Jesus, man. What are you, Rambo? It's your own damn fault. Since you were here last and stole from me, I wasn't gonna take any more crap. I nodded and grinned. I'm kinda glad. Deacon called in from outside. Hey, Prospect? Oh, Prospect? Tonga's looking down on us right now, waiting to watch us get payback like never before. I looked out of the corner of the window and saw Deacon signal to one of his bikers. The same biker pulled the pin on a smoke bomb and launched it inside. The all-consuming smoke filled the entire room. Both of us choked and coughed our lungs out. The old man clutched his chest. F me, I have asthma. He stumbled over and was hacking his guts out. I grabbed a grenade out of his duffel bag, pulled the pin, and chucked it out at them.
Movado is synonymous with modern design.
Grenade face.
Inspired by the sun at high noon.
No freaking way.
And chucked it out at them. Deacon saw it and quickly
Oh my
peeled
God.
out. Several of his other bikers weren't as lucky. Boom. Ah, crap. The scorching explosive fire consumed a few bikers and blew them off of their bikes. The remaining bikers all started firing in at us, and I dove for cover. I felt tons of glass shards and debris fall onto my back, and I got cut up. The firing stopped abruptly. I slowly lifted my head and saw Deacon walking in with a mask and a shotgun. Come out wherever you are, you little piece of crap. The old man was still wheezing on the ground. I was behind the counter. I just needed to survive long enough for the cops to arrive, so I ran down an aisle and ducked down. Deacon slowly walked down each aisle of the shop while he spoke. I bet you'd like to know what actually happened to Chrissy, wouldn't you? I tensed up and wondered how he knew. My cop on the inside gave me a whole profile on you, pal. I know everything I need to know. Chrissy was a live wire. I can tell you that. I felt rage unlike ever before. Is that why you drugged her? Because you tried to hook up with her and she turned your ugly ass down? I made my way around the counter and finally heard the police sirens approaching. Then I saw several of the remaining bikers enter the store. I was way outnumbered and felt a chill crawl up my spine because I realized that I might die today. I took a step out behind the potato chip rack, hoping to get the drop on Deacon, but then saw Deacon's gun in my face. Gotcha! My heart burned because I knew this was the end. I closed my eyes and then heard a loud pop go off. I didn't feel anything, so I opened my eyes and saw Deacon staring at me with a shocked, morbid gaze in his eyes. I glanced down and saw a huge bullet hole in his chest and could actually see right through him to the old man standing behind, smiling like a schoolgirl and holding a smoking shotgun. Deacon dropped. Within seconds, the cops swarmed the shop, guns drawn, and took out any remaining bikers that preferred to go out in a blaze of supposed glory. I just stayed down and covered my head. 20 minutes later, the entire gang had been eradicated from the earth. I went to Chrissy's grave, sat beside her, and put down some flowers. You can rest easy now, babe. Justice has been served. An hour later, I was pacing at the hospital, and after several hours, the doctor finally came out and broke into a smile. Your dad's one tough son of a bitch. He's gonna make it. I felt a huge surge of joyful tears of relief and hugged him.
Alright guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I hope you watch it again. I give this story a 10 out of 10. I love his story. He has like billions of views, so yeah. And if you like today's video, please like and subscribe, and if you want to join me on the next, click right here. Bye!